G'day and welcome back to another DBZ Dokkan video. In this video we're going to be taking a look at the free-to-play challenge and how you can beat the Fighting Legend Goku event completely free-to-play using only free-to-play units and of course the power of the Tech Zamasu friend lead. So Tech Zamasu as a friend is a pretty good choice. I find him to be the best one, although you could opt for the AGL, Goku and Vegeta, but you'd have to tweak the team a little bit. Now, the reason that makes Zamasu so good, basically, is that Zamasu covers really a wide range of units. So 170% Realm of the Gods lead with another 30% for Final Trump card and Time Travelers is pretty good. In terms of his performance himself, we'll never obviously turn him into Infinite Zamasu because he'll be the majority of our damage, but he's just really good. He's got that crit chance, he's got that damage reduction, he's got a whole bunch of additional attacks, he's got pretty much everything that kind of makes him super duper solid, and as he builds up his attack and defense, he's going to end up being really strong and just kind of being a really good unit for us to utilize as a friend lead. Now he's going to be on the 1 rotation, and alongside him is going to be the free-to-play Goku Black Zamasu. Now this was originally the first LR EZA. This is how they introduced them, and he's a pretty interesting unit. He, obviously relies a little bit on the final blow, which we're only able to get once, but if you can get all 3, he actually still has some pretty decent stats. Not to mention he gets Ki +1 with each attack received. His big issue was that in the earlier rounds, basically Zamasu was finishing off the enemy with 1 shot. Now if we had got a bit more lucky and planned things a little bit better, we might have had the Goku Black kind of mesh a bit better and get a couple more finishing blows, which would have made him just function a lot better. Next we have the other pairing on the other side. For most of the fight we're going to be using the physical UI Goku alongside the strength Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta. The UI Goku is a pretty solid unit, obviously a bit more Universe Survival Saga themed, but he has pretty good abilities. He stacks attack and defense, which is good, and then he also has a high chance of evading attacks, and then he also has Ki +3 and attack and defense of 30% for the Universal Survival Saga units, which is pretty solid. But yeah, overall he's just a good solid unit that can stack attack and defense, which makes him pretty good for this event that kind of goes a little bit of a long distance. So the next one we have is the Super Saiyan God SS Vegeta. He obviously raises attack and defense on his 12 key, and on his 18 key he greatly raises attack and defense. He also obviously builds up attack and defense with each super attack performed, and just in general he's pretty good. He's like a really solid unit, especially with his EZA. Really separates him, makes him really good. He's far too good for this event with his EZA, but that's perfect for us. And he's going to be paired up with the UI Goku for the majority of the beginning, and then as we stem towards the strength UI phase, we're going to slot out the UI Goku and really just kind of push in the Tech Supreme Kai. Now the Tech Supreme Kai is actually not a bad unit at all. He's just really interesting, provides some good utility. He's got attack and defense of 30% per Realm of the Gods category ally. He has superclass allies, Ki +1 attack and defense of 20%. He guards all attacks within the same turn as the first attacker in the turn. And he gets an additional 15% HP recovery at the end of the turn in which an attack was received. He also raises superclass allies attack and defense by 30% with his actual super attack. So he's just got a really good foundational utility that he brings. Being a support, boosting the rest of our team, healing us, and just in general being a great first slot tank makes him a really good unit that allows us to really kind of sit into the situation of him boosting the rest of the rotation. The reason we don't put him in that place earlier is because we want UI Goku to benefit from stacking whilst he can, and then placing the Supreme Kai in that position, generally speaking, means that we're able to now obviously use him to boost the rest of the rotation. And then finally we have Angelic Construction Whis, who I believe is our second to last member. Whis is just pretty good. He gets 20% defense with each attack performed up to 100%. He's got a base Ki +2 and 100% defense. The big thing about him is the fully recover HP and great chance of evading the enemy's attack when HP is 30% or less. And this is really good because we do use this. Like if we get low on health, he can come up, provide a heal. He also has a great chance of evading within that turn. So he's just a nice defensive option to have. He's also a pretty accessible free-to-play unit, being able to obtain from the hero extermination event, which tends to leave him in a pretty good, nice kind of usable position. And then finally the last unit, who's probably the worst unit on the team. Not that he's terrible, he just hasn't received his EZA, so as a free-to-player that's kind of a bit of a rough space for us, is the Int Super Saiyan Goku. So we have the Int Super Saiyan Goku. He recovers 10% HP, has attack and defense of 59% at the start of turn. He gets an additional attack of 59% with 5 or more keys he has obtained, and an additional attack and defense of 59% when there's a Realm of the Gods category enemy. Both of these kind of play into it. He's the one that's going to take the most damage, but he is pretty solid. You know, some health recovery, he's got okay-ish attack and defense, especially when facing a Realm of the Gods enemy, which Goku is. So you end up being in a pretty good position. For the most part, this run was pretty solid. I will say, obviously, Int Goku does provide some kind of issues, and we did have to use items, predominantly around the Strength UI phase, to kind of push the UI Goku off the rotation, and just in general to heal up, because even though we have healing, we didn't really have a huge amount of healing, and we do take a lot of chip damage. So pretty much every unit outside of Vegeta and Zamasu does take, you know, 200, 300k on a super, and obviously Supreme Kai. So you do have to be wary about that, and you do have to watch out for type disadvantage supers, because they can cause you some issues. But with that being said, you know, honestly speaking, he was a pretty good, it was a pretty good run. I would say it's a nice free-to-play team. Obviously Zamasu now helps a lot, which I think is a big thing. So yeah, I will say that is a pretty good kind of policy. But yeah, that's basically it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.